Morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Z32 Workshop. I am your host, Z James. This is my parts car 1993 Nissan 300ZX Convertible. Last episode, we were still continuing to work on the front suspension and upper control arm, lower control arm. Tension rod's gone, but tie rod's still in. Shock, wheel hub, wheel bearing. So upright. So we're gonna continue working on that. Sorry, I gotta just me and the crickets again this morning because the little guy over there, or there, wants to be a pain in the butt. So anyway, that's what I'm working on right now. Everything's getting pretty loose. Is where we left it off yesterday. We'll take the wheel bearing out too here because I got that loose and then the shock. So let me show you where we're at with that. So let's get you flipped around. Shock is only going to be this bolt, or sorry, nut. Oh, need a light. There you go. That way you can see. Sorry. Oh, shit. It's being a morning. So that guy. Wheel bearing is this guy. And that should be it. Everything else is gotten, I broke it all loose. But I need to get this guy, the shock loose, and the upper one. And then this whole thing, I know it's all going to be floppy, but it should come out pretty quickly. So let me put you guys on stop here, grab the rest of my tools, and I'll fire it up and we'll show you what we're doing. All right? All right, everybody. I do have a socket that will work against. Let's see if we can get this set up. Hopefully that light's not too bad for you. We'll move you over here, get you that light so it's not blocking you. This nut that holds the wheel bearing in is, as you can see, this is super loose. Is technically, I measured it. It's a 32 millimeter. I don't have a 32 millimeter. But what I do have is an 1.25 inch, which is close enough to hit that. Yes, I do have some very big sockets. A few years ago, actually quite a few years ago, I picked up one would consider farm equipment sockets. They go, smallest one was 1 inch. The biggest goes like 2.5. I mean, nothing that's hardly on a car. It's all on tractors and whatnot. But they do come with this giant breaker bar. So we're going to see if I can get this thing to break loose. Now, on that note, we're going to do time lapse because the next thing we'll work on is going to be this guy, which is 17 millimeter. And then the upper ones up here are, I think, a 14. So that's what we're going to end up working on. So here we go. Time. So other words, time. me show you where we're at. Things did not go as planned. I do have the upright, the shock, I mean everything out of there for the front suspension on the driver's side. I mean, it's disassembled. As you can see, shock's gone, all of it's gone. That is the front upper control arm. This is the thing that gets replaced if you go to any type of adjustable unit, is this, and you put this back in. There's the shock. Nothing fancy on that one. Over here, wanted to work in better light for you. I got the lower control arm out fairly easily. I got lucky. This didn't spin. This came out with relative ease. Now the upright just doesn't want to let go. This, if you can see here, I'll show it to you. I don't know if I can do it with one hand or not. When you put this on, this wants to spin because it's a, you know, it's a bearings ball joint. Or not a ball joint, but it's a joint. So it just wants to spin. And it's, without really fighting it, I don't get it. And then the wheel bearing just, hang on, just didn't want to let go. I beat on it quite a bit. You can probably see it in the video. So I'm probably gonna call it quits on yanking that thing off right now. I mean, it's off the car, and that's really what I wanted. But, yeah, that's how all of that comes off. So that's one side. I will probably do the other starting tomorrow, which will be one giant super lapse. So hang on, let's get flipped around so I can talk to you. All right. Sorry about the short, not me talking about what's going on video, but that's what's going on. I got the front uppers, got all that taken care of. That's what I want to get stripped off the car. Tomorrow, I will do the exact same stuff on the other side. That's all going to be hyperlapse. So I'm just going to record it that I did it. I'll throw the video up because that's how I work every day. I think maybe this time I'll try a little harder on getting the wheel bearing out first, because it's not, I got everything too loose. I can't put enough, when I was swinging a hammer, I couldn't get enough kinetic energy into that to get it to pop out, to press out the bearing. And then I'll try to make sure, I may even yet today, just to be preemptive, hit all the bolts with some penetrating lube. That's one thing I did not do on any of this. Something I do recommend that you do is hit it with penetrating lube. That always helps with this stuff, especially rusty stuff that's been sitting there. So that's going to do it for today's episode, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. I know it was just me, you know, buzzing around like a bee at the hyperlapse time warp. Listen to some sweet 8-bit techno music if I can find some for free. But yeah, so if you have any comments, let me know about what I'm doing. I know I didn't get everything off exactly the way I wanted to. I'm a little disappointed in myself in that. But that's how the stuff does come off. Just, you know, like I said, it's a lot easier if you're doing one while I had to stay in the car, because then you have some resistance to fight you with it. Once I loosened everything up, I still lost a good chunk of that to be able to get that stuff out, you know, which is somewhat disappointing. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So anyway, please like and subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps. Like I said, I just started this a month ago. I'm up to a whopping, I think, 34 subscribers. So I'm hoping people are finding this informative for their 300ZX car parts, or heck, anything in the garage, because everything I'm doing is kind of applicable to just working on automotive stuff. You just got to take your time with it. Having the right tools does help. I've got years of not experience, because I'm not a mechanic, but I am a guy who tinkers with cars, so I've got a lot of wrenches, a lot of little tools. You know, like I said, 1 1/4" socket ain't common. 22 millimeter ain't common. You know, all that stuff. 32 millimeter definitely ain't common. You know, it's, you own that one socket or that one wrench for that particular job, and then if you ever use it again, you're thankful, because like, hey, I spent $20 on that wrench, and I'm finally gonna be able to use it on something else. So anyway, my name is Z James. This is Z32 Workshop. You all have a good day, and make sure you continue to work on your projects just like I am.